Hello, I'm Peter Bradshaw of The Guardian. As ever, welcome back to this channel, which is bringing you the choke slam of critical insight in the cage fight of discourse. And whatever you do, don't forget to subscribe and leave a nuanced and basically supportive comment. Now it's time once again for that lovely moment on this channel when, in simply assuming the lotus position of contemplation and waiting for enlightenment, something rather lovely swims into our consciousness. Yes, it's Serendipity Corner. I've recently read the new novel from artist, filmmaker and author Miranda July, All Fours, now in paperback, which has become a sensational bestseller and July's probable breakthrough into the big league. A conceptual artist in her 40s, whose identity and experiences are clearly inspired by or based on July's own, lives with her music producer husband Harris in the greater Los Angeles area. The birth of their child Sam had been complicated by feto-maternal hemorrhage near stillborn death and continues to traumatise the narrator with flashbacks. Sam is non-binary and referred to with they-them pronouns. It's never made clear whether this was Sam's choice or his parents'. At one stage, Harris fleetingly refers to Sam's biological sex, though this is in the course of some sexual role play. The remark is perhaps part of the transgressive part of his assumed personality and is not, in any case, necessarily accurate. The narrator decides, slightly capriciously, to take a road trip to New York as opposed to simply flying, a solo holiday gift to herself. But she's hardly got half an hour out of the city, then guided by a strange midlife compulsion that she hardly understands, she pulls in at a motel and under the noses of the management themselves spends $20,000 on redecorating the scuzzy room in the style of the luxurious Bristol Hotel in Paris, all for a place that she will be leaving in a few days. But this is not simply a massive private situationist stunt or joke to be savoured by her and her alone. The narrator has hired as her interior decorator Claire, a young woman whom she knows to be the wife of Davy, the handsome young Hertz car rental employee and wannabe dancer to whom she is strangely drawn. Soon she embarks on an amour fou with Davy, which is to upend her marriage and lead her into an explosive and passionate new life phase of sexual adventure and personal self-questioning, and is arguably a parable for perimenopause. As ever with Miranda July, both in her movies and fiction, there is a resemblance which probably interests me and really not many others. The connection between her and the author Douglas Copeland, whose elegant, futurist, epigrammatic novels are brilliant meditations on modernity. A music star emphasises the eternal immediacy of her working existence. Every day is Tuesday, a very Copeland maxim. That redecorated motel room is an idea which I think Copeland would love, though I think he would love it for its own sake. The sheer craziness of it, the impossibility of it, the because it is there-ness of it. If it ever happened in the real world, and especially if it were the mischievous work of a renowned artist, as our narrator is supposed to be, then I think it would quickly attract crowds, like the shark crashed into the suburban roof in Oxford. But July clearly intends it as something else, as part of an authentic emotional journey. However bizarre the new motel room is, it is a way station on to something else and speaks of something real and unironic. Miranda July is, for me, that very rare thing, perhaps unique thing, in that she is a writer and filmmaker, genuinely renowned and equally important in both fields. I myself have had a complicated relationship to her film work. Her debut, Me and You and Everyone We Know, from 2005, was for me a bit too whimsical and fey, though her The Future grew on me, and her heist film, Kajillionaire, stuck in my mind, though I still wasn't exactly a convert, perhaps through simply not understanding her work fully, though her amazing charismatic presence is indeed something to notice. While at the 2017 Oscars, I, in my rather starstruck way, asked her for a selfie, she politely agreed, though you can see here that she wasn't maybe exactly delighted about it. In All Fours, the title refers to the paradoxical safeness and stability of a certain kind of sex act. I found myself loving the book when it's about the motel room, loving it a millimetre less when it's about the dreamlike love affair, and then liking it very much when it's about the new crisis-torn open marriage rethinking of monogamy. Perhaps I'm reacting as a man who can't appreciate the perimenopausal motif and theme. But this takes us to a very important distinction between July's literary work and her movie work. On the page, Miranda July can be fiercely, explicitly, extravagantly sexual. Could she do the same thing here on screen, I wonder? There's going to be a TV adaptation of All Fours, and my suspicion is that they are going to chicken out of the full-on extended sex scenes. The fact is that the movies, whether indie, July Spiritual Home, or studio, are still basically pretty puritanical, and extended sex scenes like the one on the page in All Fours are as scarce as hen's teeth. But the other thing to say about the final supernova of sex in this book is that it takes July, I think, to a new level, the level of passion. This is a very vehement, urgent, passionate novel in a way that her previous, more rarefied and conceptual work really hasn't been. And it's a real page-turner for the summer. And that's it. Please give this tranche of content a like and a share. Please subscribe and leave a comment. And please buy my book, The Body in the Mobile Library and Other Stories. Details given below. See you next time.